Hello guys, I am Miss A, and this is your AP Lit Crash Course. Today, we will be focusing on setting. It is important to note that setting in AP Lit requires a little more than your regular time and place questions you will receive in a regular on-level class. Setting is more complex than that. When you analyze setting, you are looking at every event that surrounds the story. So, setting is the GSP. It is geographical, social, and very political. AP Lit requires that you are able to identify setting, but not only identify it, you have to identify all three of those elements. Then you have to describe and explain the relationship the setting has with the story. So when I'm saying geographical, I'm saying time and place. When I'm saying setting, and I'm talking about the social setting, I'm talking about who's around, what's the relationship between the characters, and what expectations are tied to that social setting. And then you have political setting. So what are the power structures that innately exist in this time and place? So let's just go back a little bit. Well, let's say where it's lunchtime and you're in the cafeteria. So the geographical setting would be at lunch in the cafeteria. That's the geo. That's where you are. But the social aspect, who's around? Your friends are around, so you're more lax. So there aren't any really structural expectations when you're relaxed at lunch with your friends. However, let's say, I don't know, your crush walks in the room. So the expectation then becomes different because now you have a little more like pressure on you. So the social atmosphere has changed, which makes the social setting change. And then maybe politically power structure. So let's say the principal's walking into the cafeteria and she looks really upset. So now you're standing up straight, you're not throwing anything around, whereas you would have been more relaxed had she not been in that area. So you see how the setting can switch when those different situations are in place. Okay, so today we're going to practice. So let's practice something. My goal for us today is to be able to identify and describe and explain the function of setting as it relates to a character within a narrative. And by the end of this class, you should be able to do just that. So, let's look at the Hunger Games. Surely you are familiar with the plot of Katniss and all of the things she had to endeavor in order to, become the one to win the Hunger Games at the end. But certain circumstances surround the event in the story, and they also connect back to the setting. So when we break it down, the GSP, let's look at the geographical setting of the Hunger Games. I mean, not only is it dystopian and like apocalyptic future kind of thing, but there are 13 districts, Katniss list in District 12, and then there's the capital. So when we talk about the geographical setting, if we just dug a little deeper into that, in the capital is where the games are taking place. When we think time and place in the Hunger Games, you have 13 districts and a capital, which all 13 districts fund and follow the capital. So does that sound familiar to you? This is why setting is so important. The physical setting of this story is symbolic. Similarly to the days of the American Revolution, a revolution is brewing in Katniss's country. Again, the days of old where Americans were tired of giving taxes to a place so far removed from their day-to-day struggles. A day of rebellion is brewing also in the Hunger Games. The only difference is that no one was making Thomas Paine fight to the death every year, but ideally those ideas are still the same. The power structure is still the same. So the symbolism is there, and we wouldn't have understood that had we not analyzed and dug deeper into the symbolism and the geographical setting. And that is just the surface. We haven't even really dug deep into the meat of it. We haven't talked about the social aspect, how Katniss and Peeta and the mentor, we haven't talked about that social setting and that relationship. We haven't even really dug into the political power structures either. So that is what you're expected to do in AP Lit. That's how you look at setting.